Hey guys, how's everyone doing? So last night I got done watching Rocky Balboa, the welcoming return to this franchise after the not so well received Rocky 5, and so fans turned on that, so Sylvester Stallone decided to write one more Rocky movie for this to actually be the final film that fans would want. And how did it turn out? Here are my thoughts. Starting off with my positives on Rocky Balboa is Rocky revisiting the memories of him and Adrian, since sadly Adrian has in fact died in the series and in this universe. And so on the anniversary she died, he goes to all these places such as the apartment that he first lived in when they first got together, the ice rink that they went on their first date. There's one more place but I forget what it was, but it was just really nice to see that Rocky just returning to these places that he hasn't been to in years, and he's still trying to get over the loss of Adrian, which is not easy for him. There's even a little scene when he's talking about Adrian. He's like, it wasn't supposed to be this hard. It wasn't supposed to be this sad for me, pretty much. And it was just nice to see all of these scenes that we remember from the original film just return, and I just thought they were nice to see. Well, this may have been a character that people may have forgotten, but for me personally, I didn't forget her, and that was Maria, which is the girl in the first Rocky who started smoking, and Rocky walked her home and gave her this little life lesson. She was a pretty forgotten character when that movie first came out. No, I bet when this movie first came out, people were like, "Who's that?" and all of that, but I liked seeing her back when she said that she remembered him and like he walked her home. I'm like, hey, that's that one girl that gave him the big fuck you and all that. She was not a very big character in the first movie, like I said, but I'm glad they brought her back. She's a very interesting character, and I also liked her son. He doesn't have much to do, but what he does have to do is not that bad, and she's just a very likable character. Before I move on, I also kind of want to talk about how this movie gets away with this, which is a positive for me, and that is how Maria and Rocky's relationship. Now, you think the way that someone else would write this, you think this would kind of go to like a love story where Maria is like interested in like pretty much fucking Rocky and all that. But no, this movie does not go this route. It does not do that. It does not do that cliche thing. What it does is that it just makes them friends. The movie kind of wants you to think that they're going to get together at the end. Hell, there's even a scene before Rocky goes into the ring, Maria kisses him, but there's no sexual tension on that. I never got any sexual tension with them. Maybe some people did, but when I was watching that, I was like, oh, I don't know where this is kind of going, but it didn't really go anywhere, and this movie actually got away with that, which I'm glad it did, because it's one of those few instances where you get kind of like this relationship and you think that they're going to start dating or they're going to kiss or make out or anything like that. But no. And another thing about Adrian is that after Adrian died, Rocky opened up his own restaurant and named it after her. To me, that is very sweet. And just the whole entire restaurant itself is just cool because yeah, the entire restaurant is about like Rocky and all that, and there's a bunch of stuff about him, about his boxing days and all that, and how it's kind of like a family restaurant in a way because the thing is about Rocky. Like the entire store is pretty much about him. Like he'll go to tables and he'll tell stories about when he was boxing and how hard it was and when he had to do training and all that, but the restaurant is also just named after Adrian, which is just a very sweet thing to me. I like the relationship of Rocky and his son in this. Now, I already talked about this before because it was in Rocky 5, but to me, they brought it over here pretty damn good as well because, like, sadly, Sylvester Stallone's actual son passed away back in maybe 2008. It was like a few years before this or after this movie came out. I can't remember, but his actual son was not in this because he was diagnosed with something that was slowly killing him, and Sylvester Stallone didn't want to make his son go through all that. But nonetheless, the actor that they got, Sylvester Stallone, the person who plays Rocky's son in this, they have pretty good chemistry, and I thought the relationship brought back over to this was still as good as in the fifth one. And I like the entire scene where Rocky tells his son this speech in a way Rocky tells his son that he's going to go back to boxing again. He's going to try and box again, but his son's like, "You can't do this. I won't let you do this. You've gone through so much already." And he gives him this speech, which I want a poster of so I can put it right on my roof, specifically over there. I think it would look cool. And he gives him this speech. It's like, no, it doesn't matter how much you get hit. It doesn't matter how many punches you take. And it matters how much damage you can take. It is a very beautiful scene, and it's a very motivated scene. I've seen TikToks of it. I've seen YouTube shorts on it. I've seen so many memes on it. It is that fucking good, and the way it was written, directed, and performed, it was awesome. And I want to talk about Paulie again. This is his best utilization of this character. Now, Rocky 4, he was pretty good, but at the same time, he still had his asshole moments. But this character fully redeems himself in this film. Now, if you go back and watch my other reviews, you will see that I fucking despised that character. Where I said he was an asshole, he was pretty much just asshole all the time, and he even got Adrian and Rocky bankrupt. He pretty much used Rocky for money and all that. He was just an absolute asshole. But in this one, for this being the final time we will probably see Paulie ever again, it was a damn good note to leave him on because I absolutely hated this character, like I said. But he just seems like a normal guy. Like when they're revisiting the places that him and that Rocky and Adrian went to, like Paulie's like, I don't want to be here. You gave her the best moments of her life. You treated her right, but I didn't. And it was just beautiful to see him finally admit the truth that he is devastated that he was an absolute prick to Adrian before she died. He loved her, but he was an absolute asshole to her, and he fully redeems himself in this movie. And he's also just this guy just trying to live now, where he has his job, he's just trying to go on his day, but then they lay him off, and he has nothing else. And then he helps Rocky in his fight. He's like, "This is your last fight. Make it your best." Like before he gets in the ring, he's like, "This is your last match, Rocky. Make it your best," and all that. It was just nice to see this character finally be likable for me. Now, not my favorite, but I did like the training montage in this, where this is the final time we will see Rocky do his training sequence. This is the final time we will probably ever see him do a training sequence ever again. But the way that they ended it was pretty good. He even runs with his dog, which I honestly wonder what happened to the dog that he had in the first movie. Probably died, which honestly, yeah, it died. It died for sure. But it was just fun. It's another training montage that I actually liked, and for this probably being the last training montage that we see of Rocky, it wasn't that bad. I want to talk about the boxing in this movie, and like the fourth movie, it's actual boxing. Sylvester Stallone puts himself through a fucking lot for this character and for his acting. Hell, before he was in this movie, I believe, he was in the Expendables and broke his neck doing stunts. That is how committed Sylvester Stallone is to his roles, where he gets actual boxing in this one and in the fourth Rocky. He is just so committed. For his age, it probably wasn't the greatest for him, but he was like, fuck it. I don't care how old I am. Give it to me all. Give all your strength to me, pretty much, where he's just punching the shit out of him. Those two fought like hell. I can't believe that Sylvester Stallone is still doing like what he's doing like right now. It is amazing for his age, especially. It is just crazy. Now, this was kind of like during the credits. I shouldn't say kind of because it was during the credits. During the credits is a thing like right after the movie. In Philadelphia, there's the place where Rocky runs up the steps and throws his hands up in the air. People recreated that for this being the final Rocky movie. We know Sylvester Stallone put in the credits of people running up the steps and recreating that scene, and it was just very sweet to see the most iconic moment in the entire series, probably the most entire series, to see Rocky run up those steps and throw his hands up in the air. If you have not watched this movie before, if you have not watched any of the Rocky movies, you know that scene, and you just know it, and how he runs up the steps, throws his hands up in the air. It was just awesome to see a bunch of people recreate that. Now moving on to my negatives. I did not give a shit about the Mason Dixon character. Maybe just the way they utilized him, maybe the way that Sylvester Stallone written him. But to me, he was the least threatening boxer in this entire series. Where, don't get me wrong, I didn't hate this character, but he's not a very good character either. Where every time he was on screen, I wasn't glued like my eyes weren't glued to the screen like Apollo Creed, Clubber Lang, and Draco. I shouldn't say Clubber Lang because my eyes weren't exactly glued, but either ways, I just didn't really care for him, and he didn't seem that threatening to me. And then when he finds out that this is a undefeated boxer, I'm like, really? This guy, he's undefeated? Like what? Yet again, I shouldn't judge a man by that because he was a damn good fighter, but I just didn't really care for him very much. He's not the worst boxer, but the boxer in the series, but yeah, I didn't really give a shit about him though. All in all, guys, I really enjoyed this movie. This is a welcome return. This is a great way to end this character and just this franchise. I understand Rocky is a character in the Creed movies, but just for his franchise alone, this was the best way to end this character off and this just the Rocky series. So this is a movie that I absolutely recommend that you go out and buy it. What do you guys think of Rocky Balboa? Is this your favorite of the series? Is this your one of your least favorites? Or do you think it's a welcome return to the franchise like me? So, what did you guys think of it? Let me know in the comments below and we will talk about it. And if you like this video, like it. If you loved it, subscribe and hit the bell notification so you will get notified for my latest videos. But until my next review, take care.